Mark Mixon. America's Lost Decade. America's Lost Decade, Mark Mixon.
Thank you, Madam Contest Master. My fellow Toastmasters, the term lost decade has been ascribed in the past to other nations to describe a time of economic hardship and cultural stagnation. In common terms, it's when the average person's take-home pay declines relative to the cost of living. Ladies and gentlemen, I fear that it is in such times we find ourselves today, and this is of grave concern to me, because such times breed cynicism, particularly among the youth. It is in such times that words of inspiration are most desperately needed, and I need your help to send this message. To give you an example, I'd like to tell you about a good friend of mine, Joe. Up until a few years ago, the closest experience Joe had with economic hardship was reading about the Great Depression in a history book. Today, Joe is living in his parents' basement. He's up to his eyeballs in debt. He has no job, few prospects, and he's staring at a college diploma, wondering where he went wrong. How did he come up short? Unfortunately, Joe's story is all too common among young people today, living in the Great Recession. What platitudes rise to greet Joe and so many other young people on a daily basis? His father scolds him. "Son, I held the same job for 40 years and I never took unemployment." His mother tries to reassure him. "Son, good times and bad times just happen, and without the bad times we wouldn't appreciate the good times." His politicians say, "It's the other guy's fault, but I can fix it. If you'll just be patient, give me a little more time, money, and power." His religion tells him, "Why are you looking for happiness on earth? Haven't you heard? True happiness is waiting for you 6 feet under." Ladies and gentlemen, these are not words that engender hope, but destroy it. We can do better. I'm here to tell you tonight that happiness is possible here and now on earth. And it does not have to be the exception. It can be the norm. What we come to expect every day of our lives. How, you ask? It comes from understanding human nature. Our nature requires us to work. We have to produce the material values which sustain our life, food, clothing, shelter, so that we may then enjoy the non-material values, such as love, friendship, and esteem that make our lives worth sustaining. In understanding this, work is not mere drudgery. It is not simply repeating the motions that were created by someone else, unthinkingly doing a job that someone else created. No one has a job for you. You have to create it yourself, and that means you have to think. And thinking, by definition, is something no one else can do for you. It is intellectual independence that I speak of. So as a first rule, accept the fact that you must follow your own judgment, right or wrong, and reject anyone who asks you to subordinate your mind to another authority. Next, understand that there will be obstacles set before you. It will not be easy. It will mean more than just stepping outside your comfort zone. You're going to have to utterly obliterate that line that circumscribes it. But the rewards are a life of happiness, the reward of virtue. Take this message to the youth of America today. I promise you, they will listen. They will thank you. The world that you hold open to them is a world that fundamentally everyone wants. It is not a utopia in which none suffer or which men get by without working. Those are not possible. But it is a world in which evil has no power. The evil you see is the irrational. And unfortunately, it has lived far too long by the grace of you who are the good. Recognize this. Let us change. Take this message to people in your lives. I know somewhere you know someone who's having a tough time right now. Remind them that happiness is possible. Explain to them the importance of hard work. Remind them that there will be obstacles placed in their path. Some of these will be a product of nature, such as when an engineer has to overcome a problem created by the law of gravity. Others will be man-made and unjust. For example, a businessman who has to obey the capricious dictates of bureaucrats who tell him at the point of the gun the size of a soft drink he's legally permitted to sell. Overcoming these obstacles require very different approaches. Once you do this, great possibilities will arise. And I ask you, consider the importance, not just for yourself and your own life, but the lives of the people you care about, your nieces, your nephews, your children, your grandchildren, the world you will leave behind to them. So let us leave this lost decade in the distant past. Let us make it but a memory. Instead, let us embark upon a great intellectual journey. Let us compete with the Renaissance and the deals of the Enlightenment. Madam Contest Master.